Do you have good exclusion controls, whether it's coming from customer match lists or frequency caps?
Not based on frequency
Okay.
caps. I would love that. We can exclude. One of the cool things I love about LinkedIn, we have what are called matched audiences, really similar to Facebook custom audiences, where we can upload a list of individuals. One really cool thing about that is we don't need to upload email addresses. If you have first name, last name, company name, and job title, you can leave the email address field blank and upload it. And LinkedIn's like, oh, I know who this person is. You have really cool match rates with who people are professionally. But even cooler, something you can't get with Meta, one of the matched audiences features we have is a company upload. So one of the first things we'll do with a client is upload a list of all of their competitors and then go and add that as an exclusion to all of their campaigns. Now their competitors aren't seeing their ads. They're not charging them through click fraud the same way that, it's big problems on every other network. But on LinkedIn, we can cut competitors out. And so good exclusions there. We do have lookalike audiences, but not nearly as good as Facebook. And honestly, we rarely use lookalikes because in B2B, we know who our target audience is. We know who feels the pain. And so using a lookalike, like the only real benefit to it that we use regularly is let's take a list of all of your best customers. Let's create a lookalike based off of that and see if that outperforms our other audiences.
Makes sense. And then for my last question that's kind of related, I'm curious about interesting use cases in the tech stack that you make it to work. So like you mentioned uploading different companies, this kind of other thing, or taking other information, which you could grab from like Blue Book or Zoom Info or any of those other great prospecting tools in B2B. I'm curious what interesting use cases when you add other MarTech stack items into this to supercharge your LinkedIn campaigns.
Oh, great question. A lot of people are using LinkedIn's version of lead ads. So LinkedIn calls them lead gen form ads. And basically the same thing, a form drops down within the ad format itself. It pre-populates all the information it knows about you, makes it really easy for the customer to hit, just hit submit. They have an integration into a lot of major CRM. So if you use HubSpot, Salesforce, Marketo, Eloqua, some of those forms will automatically pass the data right into your CRM. But it also works through Zapier. So basically any CRM, you can pass these leads in. So Zapier, I think, is a big piece of the tech stack in being able to automate certain things. We do see a lot of enrichment happen. So if you just ask for, let's say, first name, last name, and email, or maybe you just ask for first name, last name, and LinkedIn profile URL, because that's all information that people feel really comfortable with. Once that hits your CRM, having some sort of an enrichment that happens automatically from your CRM to go out and grab what is their job title, what company size, what's their company name, what's their email address that we have through Zoom Info, like that kind of thing is great. I don't have a provider that I recommend on that, but I know there's a lot of enrichment options out there.
Yeah. Sorry, one more that came up to me. So in your earlier example, you're seeing a lot of your clients move to, again, book the call with the rep, however that works. Does that still follow that traditional lead capture into a CRM, then booking the call? Or, I'm always looking at different items where you shortcut it a little bit to say, all right, do I take a step out and does immediately get to that booking? Have you found, talk a little bit more there if there is a differentiation as you've had to pivot that way?
Yeah, we've found some shortcuts that are available. Like if we know our client is in a disruptive industry, they're a disruptive product. A lot of times there is this latent demand in the marketplace for what they do. So one of the first things that I like to try is let's put an ad out to these cold audiences just saying, here's what we do, click here to book a demo. And if it is disruptive, if there is enough of a pain in the marketplace, sometimes you will get leads directly from that. And it's cool. They're usually not in high volume, but for a lower spending client, maybe that's all they need. Maybe all they need is 3 to 5 leads a month or something. But most of the time we have to nurture them. And what we find to be the most effective way to nurture them is showing them helpful ungated content up first. until you've eventually, till we feel like we've earned their attention to the point where we can ask them to give us their email for something, fill in some sort of a gated offer. So we might start out with quite a bit of ungated, then move them to gated, and then see if we can transition them, especially through other platforms. Like if you can retarget on Meta and retarget on Twitter and Google, to where they're ready to raise their hand as soon as you ask. That's great.